עבדים היינו, אתה בני חורין, בני חורין. עבדים היינו, אתה בני חורין. עבדים היינו, אתה בני חורין, בני חורין. עבדים היינו, אתה בני חורין, בני חורין. עבדים היינו, אתה בני חורין. עבדים היינו, אתה בני חורין, בני חורין. On Pesach night we set the Seder table, gather around with friends and family. We read from the Haggadah, sharing stories once again of how we once were slaves, but now we're free. The youngest asked the questions, and we listened as she spoke. Ma nishtana halayla hazeh mikol haleilot. Why is this night so different from the rest? Why do we eat the herbs of bitterness? Why do we eat matzah? Why can't we eat bread? How come we don't sit up straight but we recline instead? So many questions running through my mind. Why? The Seder plate is full of many symbols to remind us of our struggle and our tears. But through our pain and strife, we always manage to survive. And that's why we tell the story every year. Though time keeps marching forward, we must not forget the past. It's the Passover tradition for the youngest child to ask. Why is this night so different from the rest? Why do we eat the herbs of bitterness? Why do we eat matzah? Why can't we eat bread? How come we don't sit up straight but we recline instead? So many questions running through my mind. Why? So many questions running through my mind. Why? And the women dancing with their timbrels. The biblical tale of slavery and redemption is replete with stories of magnificently courageous women playing key roles in the liberation of the Jewish people. Eat the orange, drink from Miriam's cup, and don't let history off the hook from including herstory. Battle the notion that one group of people should ever be subservient to another by joining me, along with Chava Morel, Rabbi Lori, and other special guests. Men welcome to dance with their timbrels too. Register on our website. When Israel was in Egypt land, let my people go. Oppressed so hard they could not stand, let my people go. Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt land, tell Pharaoh, let my people go. Avadim hayinu, hayinu. Once we were slaves to Pharaoh. Now we are free to Zoom. Sing the songs and recount the sacred stories of the season with us, and learn why you cannot just pass over our seders without finding meaning, feeling motivated, and fully tapping in to your soulful side. Details on our website. Avadim hayinu, hayinu, ata b'nei chorin. Avadim hayinu, ata b'nei chorin. Avadim hayinu, ata b'nei chorin. Avadim hayinu, hayinu, ata b'nei chorin. Avadim hayinu, ata b'nei chorin. Avadim hayinu, ata b'nei chorin. L'shana haba'ah, take two. 1, 2, 3, 4. L'shana haba'ah, l'shana haba'ah, l'shana haba'ah beYerushalayim. L'shana haba'ah, l'shana haba'ah, l'shana haba'ah beYerushalayim. L'shana haba'ah, l'shana haba'ah beYerushalayim. L'shana haba'ah, l'shana haba'ah beYerushalayim. L'shana haba'ah, l'shana haba'ah, l'shana haba'ah beYerushalayim. L'shana haba'ah, l'shana haba'ah, l'shana haba'ah beYerushalayim. L'shana haba'ah, l'shana haba'ah beYerushalayim. L'shana haba'ah. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3.
Shabbat shalom, everyone. The rabbis are out of town this week on spring break, so I'm here with you. My name's Lisa Silver, in case you're just watching us for the first time at Congregation Micah. And I'm joined by Jenny Young. You can't see her, but you can hear her on the cello. And Misty is running our sound for us. We're always really grateful. And I'm just excited. I noticed that it's light out. This is so lovely, because for so long, when we started services, it was dark, and it's just nice to be in here in the sanctuary full of light. And speaking of light, we begin by honoring the light. We light these candles for our families, our beloveds, our friends, for all our relations, for those who are near, and for those from whom we feel an unwanted distance, for the newborn, for the elderly, and for all the wounded children. May the candles inspire us to use our powers to heal and not to harm, to help and not to hinder, to bless and not to curse. May their radiance pour out upon our hearts and spread light into the darkened corners of our world. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Psalm 92 says, "Play music to Adonai on a harp, with harp and voice of song, with the sound of trumpets and shofar," and I would add, with the sound of the cello. Zamru l'Adonai b'chinor, b'chinor b'kol zimra, b'chatzot rot b'kol shofar. Hariu lifnei hamelech Adonai. Zamru l'Adonai b'chinor, b'chinor b'kol zimra, b'chatzot rot b'kol shofar. Hariu lifnei hamelech Adonai. Yiram hayam umlom, tevel veyoshveva, neharot imcha ufchaf yachad harim yareinu. Yiram hayam umlom, tevel veyoshveva, neharot imcha ufchaf yachad harim yareinu. Yachad harim yareinu. Yachad harim yareinu. Lecha dodi lekrat kala, lekrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabla, nekabla. Lecha dodi lekrat kala, pnei Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom u'mevorach. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom u'mevorach. We rise for the words of Chatzi Kaddish. Yitkaral v'yitkadash Shamei Rabbah Ba'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayachon v'yom echon uv'chayrecho Beit Yisrael b'gala uv'izman kariv v'yimeru Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah Mavorach La'olam ul'almei almaya Yitbarach Yitbarach v'yishtabach Yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnasei V'yithadar v'yitalev v'yitalal Shemei d'Kudasha b'richu Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata Tushbechata v'nechemata Damiram delma v'yimeru Amen. Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. If you are standing, you may be seated. We'll sing the words of Ma'ariv Aravim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher bidbaro Ma'ariv Aravim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam You who are smaller than the smallest seed, more beautiful than the rarest gem, who hold the mountains and oceans in your hand, who breathes us with the breath of life, enfold us in your great love, that we may open our hearts to all mankind. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. We chant the words of Ve'ahavta. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol me'odecha. Ve'hayu hadavarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavacha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'beitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shachbecha uv'kumecha uv'kshartam lot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein enecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uv'isharecha laman tizkaru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kedoshim lelohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, lior lachem lelohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. In this week leading up to Passover, we celebrate our freedom with the sounds of Shabbat Shaband and the words of Mi Chamocha. One, two, three, four.
Come on,
And as the light will soon fade into darkness, with the darkness comes your light. Earth and sky blend into one. The heavens seem closer now, the day's burdens farther somehow. Your presence is almost palpable. Watch over me, God, body and soul. Stay beside me through the night. Protect me from harm. Banish my fears. Send me dreams that are sweet. Fill my heart with your peace. Set my mind at ease. And at first light, please restore me to new life. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu Shalom, V'hamidenu Shomreinu L'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu Shalom, V'hamidenu Shomreinu L'chaim. Uflos alenu Sukkot Shlomecha, v'hoshienu leman shemecha. Help us to know that you're near, that your presence is here. Let us lie down in peace every night. And when we rise in the day, keep us sheltered, we pray. Guide us, God, with your love and your light. Baruch atah Adonai, Apore Sukkot Shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu Shalom, V'hamidenu Shomreinu L'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu Shalom, V'hamidenu Shomreinu L'chaim. God, help me now to enter this new Shabbat. After noise, I seek quiet. After crowds of indifferent strangers, I seek to touch those I love. After concentration on work and responsibility, I seek freedom to meditate. I seek to listen to my inner voice, to open my eyes to the hidden beauties and the infinite possibilities in the world you are creating, to explore the reservoirs of goodness and kindness in myself and in others, to reach towards one holy, perfect moment of Shabbat. לדורותם בריאים ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, עוד היא לעולם. עוד היא ובין בני ישראל, עוד היא לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש. ביני ובין בני ישראל, עוד היא לעולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, עוד היא לעולם. We now rise for the Amidah. Adonai tzifatai tiftach, ufi yagi tehillatech. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Romel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei HaKol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Emahot, U'Mevi Geula Livnei V'Nehem, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה. ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש בשמך קדוש, קדושים בכל יום יהללוך הצדלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. Author Anne Lamott, in her book Help, Thanks, Wow, shares these thoughts about prayer. Some of us have cavernous vibrations inside us when we communicate with God. Others are more rational and less messy in our spiritual sense of reality, in our petitions and gratitude and expressions of pain or anger or desolation or praise. Prayer means that in some unique way, we believe we're invited into a relationship with someone who hears us when we speak in silence. We now take a moment for our own silent prayer. Help us see your beauty. It's just beyond our eyes. Help us see your miracles. Help us realize that you are holy. Your name is holy, and we proclaim that you are holy. Your name is holy. Atakadosh, Bishimcha kadosh, Ukudoshim b'chol yom. Hallelujah, Selah. You are holy. Your name is holy, and we proclaim that you are holy. Your name is holy. At this time in our service, we always like to take a few moments to think of people in our community and our loved ones and friends who are in need of a prayer for healing, for body, mind, or spirit. This evening, we are thinking of these people: Steve Geringer, Savannah Morris, Jane Sherberg, Becky and Jerry Foster, Paul Richter, Crystal Miller, Janice Grossman, Charlie Baugh, Nancy Tunick and family. And at home, feel free to say the name of someone you're thinking of aloud. Join in the prayer for healing. For the hurt of body and of soul, for the suffering and pain, as you heal the ones who came before, may you heal us just the same. רפואת הנפש והגוף, אלוהינו רפאנו, רפאנו אדוני, רפואה שלמה. רפואת הנפש והגוף, אלוהינו רפאנו, רפאנו אדוני, רפואה שלמה. For the hurt of body and of soul, for the suffering and pain, As you heal the ones who came before, may you heal us just the same. As you heal the ones who came before, may you heal us just the same. Now we share with you some words of Torah from Rabbi Flip.
Shabbat Shalom. Modern technology allows me to continue to be with you virtually, so there was a little bit of Torah I wanted to share with you while Lisa leads our service. The Torah has to do with our houses. Has anyone been cleaning their house a lot? We've been home a lot, so we keep cleaning. Anyway, a number of years back in Tifton, Georgia, local authorities found an abandoned Victorian house filled with thousands of bats. The county declared the once elegant-looking home in the town's historic district off limits after a bat specialist that said that maybe like 20,000 bats had moved in, apparently for good. Teenagers called it the Bat House. And people, they talked about the smell, which was an unholy mix of animal urine and decaying wood. In the summer, ooh, does that place reek, said a neighbor. You ain't smelled nothing until you come back here on a hot day. Yeah, I'm not ever going to go there. I don't particularly like bats or bad smells. Vacant houses get infiltrated with all kinds of creatures, and probably not just bats. And many of these creatures make a mess. They create a big stink. Eventually, they ruin the dwelling. It doesn't just happen with vacant houses. It happens with vacant lives. If a person does not fill their life with good stuff, then the bad stuff, sometimes the evil stuff, it can move in and take over. So what's going on in your house? That is, the house in which you actually live, the flesh and blood and body where you dwell. Has anyone moved in? Has anyone taken residence and is somehow controlling your life? Despite all of the animal sacrifices that Jews will read about in the Torah in the coming weeks, God wants us to stay clean in this world. And that will only happen when we let God move in. That is, when we fill our lives with the good stuff, the stuff of Congregation Micah, the compassion and the service and the prayer and the community. All over the world, Jews will read this week the Torah portion, Vayikra. They begin reading this new book of the Torah, known in English by the definition Leviticus. It deals with the Levites, the priests in Israelite society. But in Hebrew, we call the book Vayikra, which literally means, and God called. I think that's a phone call most of us would take, no matter the circumstances. Now, in addition to instructions for the priests, the text also addresses the roles, the responsibilities of the laity. That's you. The entire book rests on two crucial beliefs. The first is that the world was created ki tov. The world was created good. Ki tov ma'od, very good, in fact. And that world, our world, it retains the capacity to achieve this state. Although it is often, we are all vulnerable to sin, to defiling the world we live in. The second principle is that the faithful enactment of rituals makes God's presence available. While ignoring it or breaching it, that compromises the harmony the balance between God and the world. See, our ancestors were people who grasped the miracle of a simple meal. They understood the need for regular expressions of gratitude all throughout the course of their daily lives. It's really only a little thing, right? It takes just a minute to make the mundane holy, but it has the power to change your life because it changes the way we can experience the regular, the everyday moments of our lives. And that's really the essence of spirituality. Spirituality is not like a hobby. It's not another task added to life. It's a way of framing the regular, reinterpreting the routine, and locating the sanctity, the holiness hiding within the everyday mundane acts. You know, one of the casualties of modernity, but one of the opportunities of the pandemic, is contemplation. You know, our ancestors used to walk to work each morning, and in the evening they walked home. There was time to consider, to reflect, to wonder, to dream. What were we like before the pandemic, and what will we be like after? Will we quickly once again wrestle our way onto the freeway every morning? Or even if we're considering the backgrounds, will we start it with the blaring bad morning news, whether it's NPR or some other station, maybe ESPN? Will we fight our way through traffic? There are terribly few opportunities built into our lives for reflection, for contemplation. For us Jews, the Sabbath is one of them. When the temple was destroyed in ancient times in Jerusalem, the rabbis offered verbal prayer as a substitute for animal sacrifices, the ones that at least are ordained in the Torah this week. They retained, in the way we pray, the structure and order of the sacrificial service, ordered and institutional contemplation. It sounds like an oxymoron, like a joke from Purim last week. Now, the rabbis understood that without the discipline of that ordered system, the tasks of life, the temptations of leisure, would soon overcome our commitments to others, to being generous and compassionate. They knew, our ancestors, that given the chance, the Dow Jones or push notifications on our phones or text messages, they would invade our silence. What did the radio used to say, or the news? You give us 22 minutes and we'll give you the world. Now, why don't you give yourself 3 minutes a day and you'll find your soul. I mean, could you imagine beginning your day with 3 minutes of meditation and reflection? You don't have to be religious. You don't have to believe. Just recollect the passions that brought you to this point in life. Reconnect with what you consider your deepest values. Evaluate where you are in life, and hopefully, as the light of the tunnel of the pandemic shows itself, where you will be going. Listen to the voice of Vayikra, that is calling. Calling and asking you to stand, if but for a few moments, in the presence of eternity. To look back at your life from the perspective of that eternity. Find significance in your life's pursuits. And then at the day's end, again, maybe instead of the American ritual of closing the day with the late night news, its recitation of people who have died in the pandemic and murder or rape or any lunacy, corruption, devotion, and the sports and weather. You want to know why you might be feeling a little down. Give yourself a chance to recognize that every day is a gift, to see how far maybe you have come on your journey of today, who maybe you have touched, who or what has touched you. Take 3 minutes to celebrate the life that you live and to give thanks. You see, prayer is not about changing the mind of God. It's about changing our minds. It's not a request for the beneficence of rain to fall down upon us from above. Prayer is a way to find the resources within each of us to meet life with hope and with courage. It's not about bringing heaven down. It's about lifting us up. And it's about making sure that our houses are clean so bats and other animals don't take over. Shabbat Shalom.
We're beginning our concluding prayers with the words of Elena.
Aleinu l'shabech l'adon hakol, לתת ועל יוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Our thoughts turn now to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. This week, we honor the following yahrzeits: Francis Brandt, Jean Casson, Esther Egel, Leah Galome, William Bill Heller, Hy Hutner, Joyce Johnson, Grace Johnson, Ezra Krivcher, Annie Krivcher, Belle Marks Lipsky, Harold Miller, Sarah Rabin, and Theodore Weiss. We continue mourning for Rich Moschel, Harry E. Foyer, Dr. Bob Sirkin, Aidan Becker, Robert Golden, Des Zamek, Elaine Farinacci, Rabbi Jonathan Sachs, Charlene Krahili, John Giffen, Faye Sirkin, Joyce Murray, Richard I. Bourne, Fran Schmerling, Peggy J. West, Christopher Miller, Molly Stein, and Alfred Cohen. We join together in the words of Kaddish Shatom. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divarach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayachon uv'yomechon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shemei rabbah mevarach le'olam u'almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yithalev v'yithalal shemei dekudashah barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, de'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. We say zichronam levracha, may their memories be for a blessing. Okay, so fasten your seatbelt. I have lots of announcements. And of course, I'll just say, It's a lot to remember, and you can find everything on the Congregation Micah events page if you want to see what I'm reading. Okay, tomorrow morning, Torah study, Saturday, March 20th. Rabbi shares wisdom from the Torah, available on Zoom. And at 9:30, we have Micah Mini's Pesach edition. Save some sacred space for your child's spiritual side with the sounds and stories of this special time of year. I, along with Education Director Julie Greenberg, will lead this short, sweet, sometimes sassy, and always super fun, kid-friendly, Passover-themed Shabbat experience. So you can find out how to join us by going to congregationmicah.org/Passover. It was also in our e-blast. There's a link to join us on Zoom. We always have a really good time, so I hope that you will come. Bring your kids, bring your grandkids. It's fun. Okay, this Monday, we have a Women's Seder experience at 7 p.m. on Zoom. The biblical tale of slavery and redemption is replete with stories of magnificently courageous women playing key roles in the liberation of the Jewish people. Eat the orange, drink from Miriam's cup, and don't let history off the hook from including her story. Battle the notion that one group of people should ever be subservient to another by attending this virtual event featuring the music of special guests Chava Morel, and I'll be there along with Cantor Tracy Fishbein and Cantor Sarah Levine, and many distinguished women from the community with Rabbi Lori Rice kind of putting this all together. So I really hope you'll join us. I think it's going to be a really interesting evening. Okay, continuing on. Shmooze and Views, Thursday, March 25th at 10:30 via Zoom. Connect via our events page. For the Sake of Repairing the World, Thursday, March 25th at 12 p.m. via Zoom. More info on our events page. And then Women's Circle on the 26th at 12 p.m. via Zoom. Then the first night Seder, scheduled for next Saturday, March 27th at 5:30 p.m. In need of a redemption tale? At the Micah Seder, we will practice the rituals, relive the story, drink 4 cups of wine, recline in celebration of freedom, and rediscover hope. Observe the most commonly celebrated Jewish event in the most uncommon of ways. Next year in person, this year on Zoom. Expect good music, meaningful conversation, and more joy that can fit in 1 hour. You can register at congregationmicah.org/Passover. You can find a musical Pesach playlist, recipes, and a checklist of items needed to observe the season. Again, at congregationmicah.org/Passover. Also, this month is Micah Equal Justice Month. Find opportunities for advocacy and volunteering via the Micah Social Justice page at congregationmicah.org/social-justice-action. Okay. Gilda's Gang 5K and 1 mile family fun run. Join the Micah team. It will be Saturday, April 3rd at Shelby Park in Nashville. Sign up and learn more on the Micah event page. Coming soon, music at Micah. I'll be inviting you into my living room for a house concert via Zoom with my husband, pianist Clayton Ivey, and we'll be doing some great songs by Jewish songwriters of the 20th century, from Irving Berlin to Bob Dylan. So stay tuned for more info. I'll be telling you exactly the date and time. It's going to be in early April, but check your e-blast and the events page so you can join me. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Okay, last but certainly not least, Micah reads The Light in Hidden Places, Monday, April 5th at 7 p.m. via Zoom. Join Education Director Julie Greenberg in conversation with award-winning writer Sharon Cameron for this community event. The true story of the Podgorska sisters' courage is one miracle, and how Cameron came to tell it is quite another. Connect via our Micah events page. So, okay, that was a lot to remember, but it's all there on the Micah website, and hope that you will join us for some, if not all. So now we will have Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ורצבנו, ושבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו, זיכרון למעשה וראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, בשבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. לחיים. And I want to thank cellist Jenny Young one more time and Misty Lewis for running our sound, and we will have a final closing song from Shabbat Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. A 1, 2, 3. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.